Welcome, Jenna Coleman. You are now live on the ITV Facebook page. We're here at Kensington Palace ahead of tonight's Victoria premiere, and we've got some questions for you. First of all, how does it feel to be in Kensington Palace, which is steeped in so much history and where Victoria became Queen at the age of 18?
So strange. It's amazing and kind of absolutely bizarre to fathom it, actually. Right now we are in the room that she lived in apparently 16 onwards with her mother, and was here the day someone knocked on the door and told her it was time and that she would be Queen. So that happened like here, which is pretty cool.
We've seen some beautiful images and trailers so far. Can you tell us what we can expect from Victoria?
A true story. A story about an 18-year-old girl who had lived her life in Kensington Palace and never spent a night alone before, and overnight becomes the most powerful woman in the world and has to navigate that role as well as being a teenager and falling in love and being inexperienced and getting things wrong, yet with this sense of duty and state. So it's an incredible story about a 4'11", unbelievably strong-willed queen.
And how did you prepare for this role? Were there any skills that you had to learn in particular?
Yes, there was lots of skills. The hardest being actually was probably the voice. And making that kind of accessible. There's no voice recordings of Victoria except for one, but it's so difficult to distinguish. So trying to find the right voice that felt regal and accessible and something you could play with between private and public life. And then I learned to horse ride, side saddle. I had to waltz. I had to learn a little bit of French, which was fun. And also try to attempt to play Beethoven on the piano.
So we've had loads of questions from Facebook users, so we're going to try and fire off some now. Ellis Simpson has asked, how was it playing a teenager, a young woman, a wife, a mother, and a queen in one show?
Oh, good question. Exactly that. Like, it was incredible to be able to go. Her life was so rich, but she is, and actually just navigating her way between all of these things. And that's what we see in the first series, is we see her go from teenager to mother and queen throughout all of this. So it's been amazing to play across such a time frame with someone who has so many different roles in her life, I suppose.
And Emma Louise asks, if you could be queen for a day, what would you do while in power?
Everyone take a day off work. And everyone get out and walk in the parks and stuff.
And Clarissa Berninetti, I think that's how you say it, do you have a funny story from being on set?
Lots of funny stories. I think the funniest thing is between all of us when everyone drops character. So you've kind of got everyone being quite stately and official in certain scenes, and then someone gets a line wrong, and then suddenly you're like, oh, can't swear. It's like dropping character, and that's quite funny on set. But I mean, there's lots of things. Rufus's horse had lots of flatulence during scenes that kind of went over all of his dialogue, and he manages to not corpse, whereas I'm on the horse literally like bent over double, because we also decided that Rufus's horse likes to make fun of Rufus by doing impressions of him, because he used to kind of like growl whilst we were filming, so we like to pretend Rufus's horse doesn't like him.
And Nicholas Durham asks, what was your favourite scene to film?
There's so many. I love, in particular, I love the Victoria and Albert scenes in the bedroom, because that's become so their world. And that's, in the bedroom at night and in the bedroom in the mornings, and they're doing the boxes with like morning coffee, and it becomes them and their own bubble. And they were really lovely to do, because we see them in so many different states. but then you've got, you know, grand days like the coronation day, the balls, Labour was interesting. I mean, there's so much, but the bedroom scenes are always good.
Bobby Anderson wants to know, who was the better dancer, you or Tom?
Oh, no. I'm actually devastated to say. I think Tom. Because I used to dance, so it was like kind of like, but it's more the rhythm, like the actual. So he would actually be like whispering. The timing in the music was very particular. So there'd be certain times he'd like 1, 2, 3, like have to count in my ear, which was quite embarrassing.
Ellis Simpson asks, what was it like to wear a corset all day? And going on from that, what was it like with the costumes, which look absolutely beautiful?
Corsets are not easy, but I love what they do to your physicality. However, side saddle in a corset is hard. But again, without it, I lost it when I was pregnant. I had a latex bump instead, so I got quite attached to my latex bump, which I think she would be in from a long time since, because there's 9 babies that they have.
And Dane Payans, I think you say, if you could meet Queen Victoria, what would you like to tell her?
I'm playing you in a TV series called Victoria. What should I do? What advice have you got for me? I think she'd be an amazing dinner table guest. It's her humour, actually, which I think people don't know. Like, she's quite hilarious. I feel like you're always going to get the truth from her.
And Maddie Fitzmaurice would like to ask, if you weren't acting, what career would you pursue?
When I was really, really little, I wanted to be an archaeologist at some point, just because we did a whole thing about Egypt when I was really little. But other than that, I'd like to think something still creative, whether it be like a photographer, or perhaps a writer, or I always used to say a casting director, just because, you know, I get to read lots of films and I love I love watching other actors.
Walker Rita would like to know, historical character and fictional character, which one is more difficult for you?
I'd say playing an historical character, someone that really existed, feels like a whole different ball game, because not that there's a pressure, but you do kind of feel a responsibility to try and tell it in the most accurate light as possible, and also be kind of true to something that really happened. But also it's the most fascinating and exciting, because, I mean, again, just being in this room, for example, where history like happened here now is quite incredible. So telling those stories, and on the day that we did the coronation, for example, and you know there was this 18-year-old girl and this happened to her on this day, it kind of hits you.
Amy Hersey, final question. What will you miss most from filming Victoria?
Her. Playing her, and her kind of inconsistencies and her tantrums and her heart, I think, is probably what I'll miss the most. Definitely not the corsets, maybe the latex bump, perhaps.
We're out of time. Thank you everybody for your questions, and thank you, Jenna, for taking the time to see us. Have a brilliant time tonight at the premiere.
Thank you. Bye.